Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Quick question. Have you ever opened the console and seen that lovely red error saying cannot read properties of undefined? Yeah, one missing object and suddenly your app just crashes. This usually happens when you're accessing deep object data, especially from APIs. You expect something to exist, but one level is missing and boom, runtime error. In this video, I'll show you two modern JavaScript features that fix this problem cleanly: optional chaining and nullish coalescing. If you use them right, your code becomes safer, cleaner, and way easier to read. Let's start with the old school approach. On screen, you'll see this code. We're checking user, then user.address, then user.address.city just to safely log the city. It works, but notice how messy it gets. Every time your object gets deeper, the code grows longer, harder to read, and easier to mess up. Now look at this line instead, right here. User dot address dot city. This is optional chaining. What's happening is simple. JavaScript tries to go step by step. If user exists, it moves on. If address exists, it keeps going. But the moment something is null or undefined, it just stops and returns undefined. No error, no crash. Notice what happens next when we access user.contact.phone using optional chaining. Contact doesn't exist, but instead of blowing up, the result is just undefined. That's it. Your app keeps running. Now, let's talk about defaults, because this is where people often make mistakes. Here, we're setting a volume value using the logical OR operator. It looks fine at first, but watch this. If volume is 0, an actual valid value, JavaScript treats it as false and replaces it with 10. That's not what we want. This is where nullish coalescing comes in. Replace the OR with 2 question marks. Now, this line only falls back to 10 if the value is actually null or undefined. If it's 0, it stays 0. Notice the difference. Small change, big win. And here's the real power move. Combine both. User dot address dot city, nullish coalescing, unknown. So, if the data exists, you use it. If not, you still get a safe default. Clean code, no crashes, and way fewer defensive checks. The real benefit here is confidence. You write less code, avoid silly runtime bugs, and your UI doesn't randomly break because one API field went missing. That's the takeaway. Use optional chaining to safely access data and nullish coalescing to apply defaults the right way. Thanks for watching. If this helped, like the video and subscribe for more.